If you are struggling to learn how to play or get better in any and all fighting games, my philosophy in 2026 is going to help you solve your problem. There will also be a secret at the end of the video, so stick around until the end to find out. Focus on the fundamentals. Fundamentals finish fights, and that's as true for fighting games as it is for martial arts and anything else in life. You don't need to focus on combos, the newest patch notes, tier lists, and not even the top players yet. All you need to do is go back to basics and refine those to a near perfection. Anything else you add on top of that should be in response to specific problems that you face. I want to see how far this philosophy takes me this year in fighting games and in the rest of my life, and I also want to document this journey so that you can get a glimpse into my world. Now that I've told you the what, you're probably wondering the why. Why should you listen to me? Why should you pay attention? Why am I doing this now? And if you keep watching, I'll show you. And if you're new to this channel, I've been playing fighting games since I've been 4 or 5 years old in 2002, so we're reaching Unk status if I'm not already there now. I prefer older fighting games for the most part, and just video games in general, over the modern stuff. And I don't hate modern stuff anymore like I used to a couple years ago. They just don't make a lot of media like they used to. And there are options to play older games which I love and adore. However, if I'm being completely honest, the player base for these older games are just not there, and they're never going to be there compared to newer games unless you stay in Discord. Even if you have a re-release like Marvel vs. Capcom, a lot of people just are not going to be playing that game over Marvel Tokon when it comes out, or Street Fighter 6. No one's really playing a lot of Street Fighter 3 compared to Street Fighter 6, so on and so forth, right? I was simply getting burnt out on playing and making content for Marvel Rivals, and for those interested, I'm not stopping that at all. After playing City of the Wolves with some online friends, I fell in love with the game again, and then after losing a set in a way I did not like at all, I had to train. I had this burning desire not to quit, not to cry about it, but to go back in my notes and figure out what to do about it. I've always had this plan to help people learn how to play fighting games, older ones specifically. However, all of my past attempts just did not feel right or did not work. That is, until now. I've just watched Frosty Faustings, and I saw City of the Wolves being played, and those matches felt like the old fighting games that I love, yet comparatively no one else seemed to really be paying attention. And it wasn't until I was watching Tekken World Tour through FeedEx that I remembered what can make fighting games special. However, what's really important for this video is how he, and including me, everyone else reacted to Keisuke's Kazuya. Keisuke was playing that old school Tekken, that classic Tekken, that 2001 to 2005 Tekken that everyone, as I said, including me, loved, got hype, respected it, and focused on that more than a lot of other things in the tournament, to be honest. And in that moment, I saw the missing piece once again. Something I was trying before, but I didn't really have quite the right words for, was instead of me telling you all, yo, Street Fighter 3 is better than Street Fighter 6 because X and Y, I could just show you guys this is how you can bring X and Y from Street Fighter 3 into Street Fighter 6 if you choose to play it, right? Now, if you are enjoying this video so far, please make sure to like, to comment, and subscribe, and also tell me your favorite fighting games in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to stay tuned for the secret at the end of the video. This video is meant to provide a central hub. No matter what fighting game related content I make or how long any of my series gets, this will be the starting point this year. Whenever you want to know what I'm doing or what to know or what the reason is, this video will be right here. It also helps keep me focused and helps me help y'all help me keep me accountable. Okay, here's the secret part that I mentioned earlier. If you made it this far, I appreciate it because you didn't have to be here, but you chose to be. Right now, I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to play and learn any fighting game, old or new. These two things are the glue that hold everything together. There are other important pieces, and I will cover them later on. However, these two I'm going to tell you now is what's going to make the other ones work so well, in my opinion. The first secret is position advantage and frame advantage, and I first learned about this from the Electric Underground. He's a great game reviewer that has a lot of powerful and in-depth analysis, so I'll leave a link to his channel below. Position advantage is when you put yourself in a favorable space on the stage compared to your opponent. In 2D games, that would pretty much be putting your opponent in the corner, and in 3D games, it would be getting to your opponent's side or back and or closer to the wall or ring out. Frame advantage is when you're using moves and or situations that give you plus frames so you can act faster than your opponent, taking your turn back. Using a move that's plus on block is an example in both 2D and 3D games. The second secret is the essence of all fighting games, whether it's 2D or 3D. And I learned this from, excuse me if I mispronounce this, Navril Tatakai years ago, and it has stuck with me ever since. And I will also drop a link in the description below so you can see it as well. He's a very good channel, but is very unknown and underrated. Now, 2D games are all about controlling space, and 3D games are all about controlling time. In 2D games, think about Ryu or Ken in Street Fighter. How do they win? They use crouching medium kicks and throwing fireballs to control the space, and they bait the jumps, and then they drag and punch the jumps. That's it. That's the core of 2D. If you take away the move names, you're going to have controlling horizontal space with pokes and controlling vertical space with anti-airs. In 3D games, there's usually a big move list with a lot of options. They don't tell you how to use X move and why you should use it. So, here are the 3 moves you should look for with any 3D fighting game character. Your high jab, a fast and safe / simple low, and a fast and safe / simple mid. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use the high jab, which is usually your fastest and safest high, to get them to respect you and to take your turn. And once they start respecting that, you use the fast low to hit them and chip away at your health, or at their health, because you cannot block lows standing. Then you're going to want to use your fast mid to hit them when they're looking for the low, because you cannot block mids crouching. That's it. That's the core essence of 3D fighting games right there. In both 2D and 3D games, this is not going to be enough on its own, and if you're watching the footage, I was getting hit by and or losing to a lot of things and players doing more things than I was. However, high level only adds nuances to this. It does not change the fundamental nature and foundation of fighting games. That was the reason why I was even able to hang with and or in some cases win against opponents who were probably playing these games way longer than I have currently. And when you come across a problem, as you see in the footage that I did, you can add in something that directly addresses that problem. I mentioned this earlier in the video, however, hopefully this makes some more sense with context. And yeah, honestly, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you see fighting games in a new light that you want to try for yourself. And remember, everyone, I want you to live with style and substance, turn your pain into power, and always remember that 1% today equals 100% tomorrow. This is Alex Lovehall, the Fighting Gamer, and I will see you all in the next round.